Thanks Skullbliss for sponsoring this video. This is not the star of today's show. I mean, you can probably find this everywhere, but it does not even come close to this, the real deal, Parmigiano Reggiano. And to be honest, if you put apples to apples, it is not more expensive than that cheap stuff. So I always try to use this. Now we're going to be doing something unthinkable with it. That is to dry age some steaks. Now I am super excited for this experiment, and here's why. Parmesan cheese has something very special inside, and we're talking about monosodium glutamate, the king of flavor. So my hopes is that this is going to turn out as one of the best dry aging experiments I've ever done. That is to be determined real shortly, because as you can see, I have grated a good amount of it already. Now the only thing left is to use it for dry aging, as this is the real star of today's show. It is a 3-bone choice grade rib roast. As you can see, it does not have a lot of marbling. Now like always, we have to have a control, and in order to do that, the first thing I gotta do is to split this in half. Once that was done, now you can really tell the intramuscular fat of this thing. Hopefully by the end, it's gonna taste even better than Wagyu, because the only thing left to do now is to set it on a cooling rack and throw it in my dry aging cabinet and let it sit there for a total of 45 days. That's good, because now I can concentrate on this one. So I went ahead and added all of my grated Parmigiano Reggiano. The more, the better. But as you can clearly see, this thing just kept falling off. That's not what we want. I kept trying as much as I could, but everything was not working properly. That's when I decided to go ahead and use a cheat code. So I brought out the big guns, cheesecloth. It will be perfect for this dry aging experiment. So the only thing left was to wrap everything up, keep adding more cheese as necessary, as now the only thing left to do is to put it on a cooling rack, and into my dry ager cabinet it goes for a total of 45 days. Once the time was up, I took it out, and this is what I was left with. As you can see, not much has changed. I was thinking a little bit of the moisture would come through, but nothing really happened. So I went ahead and started removing all of the cheesecloth. And once I did, now you can really see what this is. Take a look. It looks like the Parmesan cheese really did its job. It kept everything dry, and most importantly, nothing is wet. Now the next thing I wanted to find out is what lies underneath. So I tried to remove the Parmesan cheese as much as I could. And as I started to do this, something hit me real hard. I'm talking about the smell. It's a combination of stinky cheese together with dry aging meat and stinky socks. It is not pleasant. But then it got me thinking, one of the most delicious cheeses in the world smells really bad. So hopefully that's what's happening with this. Because once I was done removing as much as I could, this is what I was left with. The world's first Parmigiano Reggiano dry aging experiment. And as I hold it on my hand, man, the smell is getting worse by the minute. Not a pleasant smell. So I went ahead and started removing the crust. First by removing the bones, then immediately cutting the edge out. And as I did, take a closer look. The oxidation is strong on this one. Even though all of the pellicles were removed, you can see that the penetration went deep in there. That is something you do not see very often. Because I went ahead and continued removing as much as I could, taking out everything that was unnecessary. And in the end, this is what I was left with. Fully dry aged, 45 days Parmigiano Reggiano dry aged steak. Now the big question is, how is it going to taste? If the smell is any indication, it's going to be real bad. But hey, that's expected because it's cheese. Now remember, to put it to a true comparison, I also did a real dry age one. And as you can clearly see, it is dry like a bone. That is exactly what you want. Now remember that we went 45 days on this one, so it should have more dry aging flavor than usual. I did the same exact thing as the Parmesan cheese one. Removed the bone, immediately removed all of the crust. I tried to trim out the steak as best as I could, because in the end, I was left with 2 little steaks. Take a look. That is what happens when you dry age for longer. And when I put both side by side, this is what they look like. You can clearly see that the Parmesan is much larger. It preserved a lot more of the steak. But hey, the most important thing is how is it gonna taste? Well, let's find out right now, because I kept the seasoning real simple. A little bit of salt followed by freshly ground black pepper, that's it. As the only thing left to do now is to grill them. For that, I'll be first putting a beautiful sear in all of them. Once that's done, I'll be cooking them in indirect heat until I reach an internal temperature of 135 degrees Fahrenheit. And for that, I'll be using my wireless thermometers. As now, I like to say, it is enough talking and it is time to grill some beautiful steak. So let's do it.
Before moving forward, take a look at this beauty. It's a piece of art, and it happens to be the sponsor of today's video, Skull Bliss. Skull Bliss has an impressive collection of hand-carved animal skulls. Ram, buffalo, cow, longhorn, and extra-large longhorn. These are the core elements you won't find anywhere else. They work with skilled artisan designers to create amazing pieces that can be a centerpiece in any room. And no worries, no animals were harmed just for their skull. These authentic skulls are ethically sourced. They are the local byproduct of Balinese agricultural industries. You see, they turn these would-be wasted products into detailed, unique artwork and process that pays respect to the life of a beautiful creature. This one right here is a cow skull, the Great Titan. I normally display it in my office, and everyone that walks in immediately tells me it's an impressive piece. And they are right, it is. I mean, take a look at the high quality craftsmanship. The finishing touches are just impressive. Go to the link in the description and get one for yourself or as a gift. Use code GOOGLEFOODS to get $50 off any product, including sale items. This discount is only available until May 28th. Thank you, Skull Bliss, for sponsoring this video. But now, let's get right back to it and see what happens with this dry age experiment. All right, everybody, here we got our beautiful steak, my two-taste tester. You guys ready?
Ready?
You hungry, Leo?
I'm starving, Guga. I cannot wait to eat this.
Leo's always hungry.
So we got a little experiment going on. Tell me like it is. If it's good, let me know. If it's let me know as well. Sounds good?
Sounds good.
All right, let's go for it. We'll start this direction. Go for it. Close to you this time, Leo. Normally it's far away.
I know, right? Now I don't have
Far
to
away
stretch
from
my
the
arms.
mouth.
Far away.
Far away.
I have to fight for this one.
First thing I want you to do is smell it and let me know what it smells like, because it's extremely fragrant. Oh, you all right?
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah.
You all right, Omar?
Yeah, that's a slap on your nose.
Strong smelling steak right here.
Oh, man. Okay, very good. I'm excited to try. You guys ready? Can you guys tell what it is?
Dry age.
I love it.
No
Okay.
way. Try it.
All right. All right. Enough. You ready for it? Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Wow. Wow.
Say hello to 45 days dry aged steak, everybody.
Ooh.
Tell me.
That's amazing.
I don't think you ever had 45 days,
No,
Leo.
I was just about to say that I've been accustomed to having a 35-day dry aged steak, and
Yeah.
that is much different.
Yeah.
And I will also say better, I think.
Some people like it better, some people like it worse. It's less juicier.
It's not as juicy as the 35 days,
Yeah.
like we said, but it's more concentrated flavor. So it's a little bit stronger, beefier taste, and a little bit stronger dry aginess taste.
Highly recommend 45 days if you want to taste more funkiness, but if you want a juicier steak more towards traditional but with an additional flavor, then 35 days is the way to go. Can you tell it was the control?
That
Yeah. It tastes just like a really good steak.
It tastes like a really good steak. Why, you think this
It
one's gonna be
didn't-
bad, Leo?
Well, I mean, you never know when you're on Google Foods.
it didn't taste like you did anything crazy with that one. Let's put it that
Okay,
way.
well, let's find out about this one. You guys ready? Once I tell you what it is, you guys are going to be excited as well, so be excited. Immediately, as soon as I took my fork on this steak right here,
Ooh.
I can tell you it's much softer.
Yeah, it feels more tender.
Right? It's much more tender, but at the same time, give it a sniff. All three of us together. You ready? Sniff time. Let's see.
Wow, that's different.
Wow.
That is much different than the
That
last
is
steak.
unexpected.
Let's give this a try. The experimental steak. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, guys.
Whoa!
Very interesting.
I'll say this. It tastes a lot better than it smells.
Yeah.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I'm like dancing with these flavors right now. I don't know how I
you feel about it.
I was on the fence. I was like, do I like it? Do I not?
I know. It's good.
Yeah.
It's better than the control one.
I agree. It has a different flavor.
Yeah. Hard to describe.
I don't know.
I want to say like savory, but it's a little like it's less beefy.
You hit it on the money.
Yeah.
It's a little bit savory.
So this one here was dry aged in Parmesan cheese. So
What?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
What?
That's the aftertaste.
you feel it, Mama?
You know what?
The aftertaste is the same aftertaste as the Parmesan. Parmesan Reggiano.
Yes, the
You're
real
right.
deal. This is very nice. I am
Yeah.
extremely surprised with the taste, okay? Who would have thought using Parmesan cheese is actually a good thing to dry age? I want to say that it's more savory, but I don't think that that's the description. I think it's more umami flavor. That's how I would describe it. You
That's
know,
a good way of saying it.
it's something unexplainable that you have to experience in order to find out exactly what it tastes like.
To me, it's like the after flavor that you get from the control is that funky umami taste.
Yeah.
That it lingers on your mouth. And then on this one, instead of being funky, it's the cheesy from the Parmigiano.
Like a
Yeah.
pleasant.
Yeah, it's very pleasant.
But don't get me wrong, everybody. As soon as you grab this and you put it in, you're gonna sniff it before you take a bite. You go, holy moly, that is not gonna be a good bite. And then suddenly, it's nice.
It's pleasantly surprising.
Yeah, it's nice. So if you think you're gonna eat like durian, you know, it smells like
but when you take a bite, it's so delicious. That's kind of what the experience it is of eating a dry-aged steak for 45 days with Parmesan cheese.
Ooh, dry age Honduran.
Oh, that thing is so stinky, mama. I'm just gonna stink my dry ager for a year. Anyway, guys, these are the results. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, be sure to subscribe for future videos. Remember, if you are interested in anything I use, everything is always in the description down below. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys on the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
So yeah.